biceps going there too. Nobody seems to miss those. Funny. Oh, there's so many things I could tell you. I know. All right, I'm moving on. We need to move on. But, well, I am going to say this. My son is one that doesn't really love music a whole lot. Once he hears something once, he recognizes it, and he will always tell you who wrote it if he knows it. So he has a wonderful memory in that regard. But he doesn't just listen to music for sheer pleasure. There's a few times that I'll be playing some music or I'll start singing something and he'll come and he'll just be weeping. He says, "Oh, that's so beautiful." So I have hope that he will eventually one day love music. But anyway, when it came to Rudy and doing this album that has the perfect 10 on it, Rudy signed one and gave it to Garrison. And so we played it in the car. And I wasn't hopeful that Garrison would let me play it for very long. But as it turned out, it was his favorite CD. And we had to listen to that thing. I drove from Florida to Georgia, to Tennessee, to Ohio, and all the way back home with that one CD playing. I love you, man, but that was way too much of you. When I stepped out into music ministry, a friend of mine asked me what my ministry would be about, and I told him it would be about good music about Christ, you know. It was shortly later that I realized that my ministry needed to be about something even more than that. And for the last 16 years, I have spoken on behalf of children. Any of you who've seen me before, you know this is true. You know that I work hand in hand with World Vision, even though I don't work for them. I choose to speak on their behalf and get children a Christian education and a hot meal and all their medical needs met. And over the course of the last 16 years, thousands and thousands of children have been sponsored. And I got into it thinking that I was going to change the world, that I was going to make a difference in this world. And I do believe that we can, and we need to help those around us, the neighbor next door or the child around the world. We're called first and foremost to care for their needs, period. So that's what we do. And that's why I wanted to speak on behalf of World Vision. I wanted to change the world. When I had a child of my own, one that we thought we would never have, I realized that World Vision had come into my life so that I could train my child. My son needs to have the character of God. He needs to have that heart of flesh that weeps for others when they're hurting. And World Vision enables me to teach him about that, to begin having an understanding of what it means to care for other people's needs. And so I think World Vision came into my life so that I could train my child. I want to tell you right now, just the nuts and bolts of this. If I could bring a bus up here with all the kids in it, I know your heart. You wouldn't let the bus drive away till every child had been taken care of. I can't do that. All I can do is bring pictures like this. And when you see these out in the lobby, I want you to do one thing. Do not leave with this folder. This is not a brochure. Each one is individual. If you pick it up, you'll see each child is unique, and there's a story inside that tells you a little bit more about the child. What I want you to do is choose tonight to do this for your family, whether you're a grandparent or a parent or a child yourself. This is a way that you begin to do what Christ does. Another way to soften your heart and to take care of somebody else's needs like Christ would. So do go back to the table, and you can pick one up, but just don't leave until you have filled out this form inside and given that to me or one of the helpers back there, okay? One of the volunteers, because this is the form that I send into the office, and they will send you the child's address, and you can begin to have a relationship with this child. The very first boy that Lionel and I sponsored, his name was Hendro Odoro. He's a Muslim little boy from Indonesia, because that's where my heart was broken. And this boy is now a young man, and he owns and operates his own farm. When I met him, he was terrified of me because I was a Caucasian woman and he had never seen one before. But we became friends, and this Muslim little boy The songs he knew were, Jesus loves me, Jesus loves the little children. We are making a difference, one child at a time in this world. And even if we don't make a complete difference, it's going to take the Lord's coming to right all these wrongs. But the change that occurs in our own hearts. When my son opens up the refrigerator door, the first time he looked at the picture of our sponsored kid there and said, "Mommy, is Anna eating today?" Yes. When he goes to bed and he prays for all his friends and he includes the sponsored child in Armenia, Tamara is her name, when he prayed for her, yes, that's the point. That's why I'm doing this today. Why I'm sponsoring children, is so that this legacy can go through my child and he can be more like Christ. That's what it's all about. I'm going to show you a video of some of my kids. This video has been with me a long time, and you're going to see some still photos in there. You can go ahead and roll it. The still photos are children or schools that me and my husband personally have sponsored and been a part of.